Welcome back to The Express. We're here at the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival, where it isn't just intense competition in the water. As Erin Shaw found out, culinary students went head-to-head. The main ingredient? Aluminum foil.
Most of it's practice and just refining your dish. The hard part is, coming up with what you should make. But after that, it's just constantly, repeatedly making the dish over and over again.
Perfecting a skill is about practice, whether it's in a dragon boat or in the kitchen. These Art Institute culinary students are practicing and practicing in hopes of becoming this year's Rio Tinto Alcan aluminum chef.
Well, the competition brings a lot of talent from the 3 different schools in the city of Vancouver.
You convince me why you should be a judge.
Marcus Van Albrecht is the MC of the competition that takes place with hundreds of hungry dragon boaters looking on.
And they have a live audience. I keep the audience going. We ask them questions. We try to ask the competitors questions on what they're doing, because in the real world, we always have a lot of distractions.
Another hurdle is more methodological, using tinfoil in 3 different ways.
So I'm searing the halibut, and then I'm baking it in the tinfoil. I'm also making a roasted red pepper sauce, so I use the tinfoil in that way for the roasted red peppers. I'm sort of roasting the small sweet potatoes in the oven, and I use aluminum foil in that too.
I'm going to poach my salmon inside of the oven with the tinfoil instead of doing it on the stove, and I'm still kind of stuck on the 2 other ones. But
Chef Donald is an instructor in the culinary program. He's seen Jack and Juliana hone their skills all year long.
They've been working extremely hard over the last few weeks, just, getting the fine-tuning together for their dishes. Lots of local ingredients. I mean, Rio Tinto Alcan's been great over the years, supporting the school and supporting this competition.
And the pairing of poaching and paddling is natural, says Marcus.
I think the dragon boat people have a very good appetite, and I think they do look for a more nutritional component to their diet. We utilize locally grown produce and ingredients, and I think that you'll find that a lot of dragon boat people will do the same thing.
I'm Erin Shaw in Vancouver for The Express.
Marcus says that the competition is good for the chefs to get their speaking skills up to snuff while they're cooking. It could prepare them for a future on the Food Network, if they're lucky. Now, the goal of the race is to beat the competition, but one team has already won by beating the odds.
Visiting with family and friends and just breathing was so hard. I was on oxygen 24/7 and fighting, really fighting.
Before her double lung transplant 5 years ago, Britta Watts had trouble doing even the simplest of tasks.
I was living in the hospital for a lot of times, and hospital visits would go from weeks to months at a time, and just basically walking 10 feet, being able to make it up a flight of stairs.
So she never could have predicted that she'd one day compete on a dragon boat team.
We're called the Gift of Life, and we are made up of transplant recipients, donors, donor mothers, our supporters, family, and friends.
Okay, back it down, please.
Everybody's got their own stories. We paddle for our donor families, for our families, and just to show that it really does work. There is life after transplant.
I'm paddling for the support of organ donation and to raise awareness. I received a new liver in March 2006, so that's why I'm on the team.
Larry Warfolk was born with cystic fibrosis, and at the age of 50, he thought he'd lost his chance for a transplant.
I thought that at that point I'd be too old to receive a transplant, but that's not correct. So what I did not know at the time was that when they asked me, they were assuming that I had about 24 months to live.
And 22 months later, Larry received his transplant. Now he has plenty to paddle for.
I paddle for my grandson. I paddle for my donor as a way to give thanks. I have no idea who that person is, but I guess I want to show that their gift wasn't wasted.
And for Susanna Helgeson, being a part of the Dragon Boat team has healed her physically and emotionally.
It's been really good because I donated my kidney to my son, and this was the first kind of strenuous activity that I took up after the surgery, thinking that, will I be able to do this and what's it going to be like? And I survived the first year and came back the second, and it's easier this year.
Having beaten the odds in life,
you can't help but get to the point where you're fairly certain that your best before date, you've passed it. and that's really going to be the end of the line for you. And to be proven wrong is wonderful.
The Gift of Life team finds strength and motivation in their past.
Just what people have been through and, you know, how we all survive.
United, they paddle towards a healthy future.
We work as hard as any other team does, and we fight as strong as any other team does, so we do our best.
I'm Sunny Lenarduzzi in False Creek for The Express.
If you want to know more about organ transplant or recipients, you can go to their website. There's plenty more coming up here at the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival. Stay with us. Up next, we meet a dedicated dragon boat couple.
Why do I start volunteering? Well, with all the happy faces around, how can I not be?
Woo! And how one group uses the power of costume to get their message out. The Express. This is your local voice.
Today's generation of young people spend the least amount of time outside of any generation in human history. We need to have children out, we need to have people out in order to see the world around that allows us to live. I think something like the Sea to Sky Trail is the epitome of what we need to get people back out into the real world, to see nature as it can be, and something that we are a part of and that we must fight to protect.
Welcome back to The Express. We're here at the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival. It's all about the food, family fun, friendly competition, and for some, it's a labor of love.
Welcome to the Dragon Boat Festival.
I've been volunteering for 13 years.
You've been volunteering with your beautiful wife, haven't you?
Yes, she's got me started.
Oh, Mimi, how did you hear about the festival? Why did you want to start volunteering?
Why do I start volunteering? Well, with all the happy faces around, how can I not be?
Does volunteering with Henry make the festival even better?
Oh, yes, for sure. All in the family. You got it right.
Do you think it's strengthened your relationship?
Oh, yes. She tells me to go get this, go get that.
Well, that's all you need then, Henry. You need a little guidance, right? Yeah. That's good. Henry and Mamie are passionate about the Dragon Boat Festival, and of course, we'll be back next year. Passion resonates in our next story, and as Peter Kim finds out some fishy costumes, hope to get a message across.
Awe-inspiring or fear-inducing, these majestic predators will engender a range of emotion.
I fell in love with sharks as soon as I saw them. I used to dive on Galapagos and here in BC as well. When you see a 5-meter-long hammerhead come within 10 meters of you, it's an absolutely awe-inspiring feeling. You know, you're supposed to, as a diver, you're supposed to keep breathing the whole time, but you literally can't help but hold your breath. We found this egg in Tofino. I've been interested in, you know, trying to find a cause that I really wanted to believe in.
Saving these marine hunters from extinction became the cause.
Wake Project Society is basically there to kind of like remind people of their consumption habits, to get people to think about what it is that they're actually consuming, what goes into their mouths, what goes into their bodies, and to think about the externalities of that.
Posters and even costumes are part of their very public campaign, one that's crying foul on the indiscriminate fishing methods killing these apex predators.
We mostly focus on sharks, but we also focus on how our consumption of other fish affect the depletion of many species of sharks.
We're destabilizing the circle of life inside the ocean by removing specific apex predators such as sharks. You enter the underwater world and you're on an entirely different planet. And whilst you're on that other planet, you think of Earth in a very, very different way. I want to leave this planet in better hands than when I arrived here on this planet, because I really appreciated it. So why shouldn't I want to protect the thing that I appreciated before it's gone, before it's too late? Because sooner or later, there's going to be divers going underwater and there's going to be nothing to see.
And nothing to eat, according to some studies.
Certain scientific reports have come out recently that have basically suggested that the worldwide fishing industry will collapse by 2048, which means that it will affect you because you won't be able to, choose fish on the menu. No one will be able to even see fish in the ocean. They will simply, not exist on our planet anymore.
Woo! For now, they can keep it light and fun. And Martin is hoping that's the way it will stay. In Vancouver, I'm Peter Kim for The Express.
Martin's website has a lot more about the cause, and if you want more information, you can go to wakeprojectvancouver.net. Now, for more water events coming up in the city, here's your Williams Moving and Storage Big Summer Spotlight. Join Kayak for a Cure Canada, dedicated to creating a future without cancer and making a positive impact on those living with it. Teams are made up of volunteers that are passionate about giving back to their community and are excited about helping people through a sport they enjoy. Paddles up for cancer research. Join Western Canada Canoe and Kayak for demo days. You get an opportunity to try a few boats that you just can't decide between. Demo days are held at Mill Lake and Abbotsford and are free. Make sure you sign up to ensure the boats you want to try are at the lake. If the Dragon Boat Festival has inspired you to get in the water, start the safe way. The Complete Paddler is a multi-day course created to promote proficiencies in all aspects of ocean kayaking. No experience necessary, and this course promises to challenge you to become competent and confident paddlers. That's it from the 22nd Annual Dragon Boat Festival. I'm Melanie Panetta, filling in for Johanna Ward, and from all of us on The Express, thank you for watching. We'll leave you now with more highlights from the festival.